Hey guys, welcome to Petit Byahaut. We're so excited to be here. We have a lot of cool stuff planned. Tonight we're gonna go and have a beach barbecue and we're gonna make some BRUVS while we're here. It's also a perfect place to go diving. We have access to really shallow sandy water, which is nice for some of our confined stuff we're finishing up, and a lot of cool sloping reef edges for deeper dives. And there's some bat caves we're gonna explore and go free diving in, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
We're going to be building BRUVS and then deploying them and analysing the footage to see what we find. So we got bait, so that's what that fish is that Benny found the freezer was for. We're going to chop up the fish and use it as bait. Remote, we don't have to be there to operate this, this piece of equipment, so it's actually going to be, we're not going to be in the picture. Underwater video is kind of in the name. It's going to be underwater and taking a video. And so the reason we want to do this is because it allows us to create a really quick snapshot of what's going on in an area in terms of the predators.
Okay, I think we're going to put our bait in this thing, and then we're gonna make an X with this line in the middle of this. I put the bait here and the camera on a corner looking inside so that we can see the fish with the maximum distance.
We're gonna put a weight at each corner so this frame is sitting like on the seafloor like that. Once we get it together.
We're gonna poke some holes in this guy. Olympus has got it poked holes.
That's where our bait will
And
go.
that's where our grouper fish is gonna go.
A nice oily fish. And so we
Get
wanted
some smells going.
we want to be able to put our bait in, have the oils go in the water, but we don't want the predators to be able to easily get it, because then it's gonna be a really short video.
Three teams are just deploying their BRUVS in the water. We've got a couple that are going to go in the seagrass just below us here in the anchorage, and we've got one that's going over on our adjacent reef on our south side over here. We've got some grouper as bait, and they've chopped up nice and small, so we're hopefully going to see kind of what predatory fish, sharks and rays we've got in the area to then kind of create a relative abundance when we get back and analyse the data. We dinghied out the BRUV frames to different locations around Petit Byahaut. Team 1 deployed theirs onto a sandy bottom around 5 meters from the edge of the coral reef. Despite the BRUV being made and deployed well, we didn't manage to capture any large marine vertebrates in the frame, but we did manage to see some smaller reef fish showing interest in the bait. Team 2 attempted to deploy their frame off the side of ARGO. Their frame failed on entry, but you can see several triggerfish were intrigued by the bait. They pulled the frame back up to enact repairs before lowering it down to the seagrass meadow below. Even with poor camera position, you can see the triggerfish remained interested in the bait on board. This whole lab was designed around showing the students the process behind building a BRUV into deploying it and then analysing the footage. And it was very good at highlighting some of the limitations and drawbacks with practical conservation in water. And we can see from some of the footage with the lines in front of the cameras, and also we had one camera that didn't work. And these are all classic things that happen with remote operated cameras underwater, and it was a great way for the students to actually go through the troubleshooting process about how to manipulate their frames and the camera positioning to try and get as much footage as possible. And despite some of the limitations they came across, it was still a very successful session in the water. We had some different fish species coming into view, and I hope that some of the students can actually come out of this experience feeling a bit more excited about going back to where they live and conducting similar kind of things in their own environments back home.
So today I am head chef. I'm responsible for feeding this gang. And today we have the privilege of being located in beautiful Petit Byahaut, which is pretty much uninhabited, tiny little isolated bay on St. Vincent. We're going to make the most of the opportunity, and we're going to have a beach barbecue. And the rest of the crew is going to swim on over, and we're going to have a nice evening right here on the beach, looking at ARGO and this beautiful scene that we've got ourselves set up in. All right, the fire's going nicely. The sausages are sizzling. The veggie skewers are coming along. Everyone's having a fine time out here on this beach.
We're on the beach have our beautiful, gorgeous ship in front of us, and we're all just on the rocky beach. We've been playing volleyball, we've been playing frisbee, and we've been having like challenges, like dance challenges, just absolute nonsense. We've gone barbaric, and now we're eating our hot dogs, our pasta salad, and
Ready for a good night. Ready for s'mores?
ready for some more. Actually, you know that's how the word was invented?
I want some more.
This for the camera? No. Off the record. S'mores?
You've got to give Tyler
S'mores became a thing because someone tried it and they were like, oh my goodness, but their mouths was all like gooey, so they were like, I want some more. And then they were like, that's what it's called.
Heard it here first.
Okay,
folks.
off to my partner Talia.
Jackie found a really nice rock and we went out and dove down and grabbed the rock and ran underwater. And then Shane found a different rock and he's got a water gun that he's gonna pull out later. Yeah. And we're gonna have an epic time.
And again.
We just had our second night here at Anchorage, and we're heading this morning over to Buckerman Bat Caves, where we're going to hopefully go and see some bats and do some free diving in the caves. And there's very interesting behaviours here expressed by the bats. They're actually piscivorous, so they eat fish, and it's a great time for the students to practice their free diving skills as well as see this quite interesting dynamic between the terrestrial and the marine animals.
I keep thinking they're gonna hit my head. They fly like straight above you and then crabs are swimming next to you. But it's like once in a lifetime kind of thing. Oh my goodness. So today we came to this bat cave. We swim in, we hear is the sound of like hundreds of bats screeching, and you swim through and they're flying all over you, and you look down and there's fish in this like underwater canyon, and it's pretty insane. You could the cave connects back to the ocean, so we swam straight through and the current pushes you out, and it's so crazy.
Today we're going on a deep dive as part of our students' advanced open water training. As we go deeper, the increased pressure affects our bodies in different ways. One of those ways is that our brains and our tissues absorb more nitrogen, and this causes an effect called nitrogen narcosis. Nitrogen narcosis is considered to be akin to being intoxicated, and it leaves the person with a feeling of being dazed or a little bit slow to react and respond. We play a counting game where they have to look at a dive slate and coordinate touching their nose with pointing to and saying the next number in sequence. However, some of the numbers are written as digits, others are written word. They're different size, different positions on the card, so it's not as straightforward as they think it might be when they're told they have to count to 20. It normally takes a lot longer to do at depth, particularly if they are experiencing nitrogen narcosis.
So we jumped straight in and descended to 100 feet. Once there, we performed the counting game again, and surprisingly, everyone was either quicker or the same speed as on the surface. Then I cracked open an egg. This is a great demonstration of pressure at depth because the increased surrounding forces keep the yolk compressed into a ball. With the skills complete, we ascended to 40 feet and spent the rest of our dive exploring a large patch of seagrass. Seagrass is home to lots of marine life, such as this peacock flounder.
Now
the divers are back on board, it's time to leave Petit Byahaut. With having 2 anchors out front and a stern line attaching us to the beach, we're going to need all hands to get us out of here. Ben's going to take a couple students in Nopodon to undo our stern line and bring it back to Argo, while Nicole and I are running anchors up the bow. Meanwhile, Shane's just going to keep things running on deck, getting the other dinghy ready to go. So we're finally ready to head over to the next place.
So we're just pulling out of Petit Byahaut, where we had our 2 anchors and a stern line holding us in the middle of the bay. This really was a wonderful spot, but now we're going to motor a short while around the corner to Young Island or Young Cut, where we're going to pick up a mooring ball and spend the next couple days. This evening we're going to be doing a short walk up Dervenet Rock, which was an old fort or battery from days gone as part of Maddie's birthday celebration.
We are going up a giant rock. I don't know the name of it, but we're going to the top to get some really good views of St. Vincent. It's gonna be good. You can see Argo over there.
Speech, 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 speech.
Oh, my long 22 years, I've learned a lot. And it's that you should travel any chance you get. Preach.
We hope you've enjoyed following along with our adventures so far. If you're interested in joining us as a student on a future voyage, or just want to learn more about Seamaster, then please visit our website, linked in the description below.